Welcome to Tales from the Dark Realm. I'm your host, horror author Michael J. Elliott, and welcome to the Creepypasta channel dedicated to providing you with 100% original creepypasta stories and poetry. Let the terror commence. Mother noticed the slice of bread had been nibbled. The corner had been eaten away by them. She never swore. Mother simply shook her head and said, "Tut, tut." Mother wondered whether she should still make Father's toast with this piece. No, best not. There was no way of knowing what diseases those little buggers were carrying. Mother shivered at the thought of making Father sick. She delicately, as if fearing something contagious, picked up the slice of bread that was contaminated and dropped of it in the kitchen bin. The pests seemed to be getting bolder. Mother had dropped a dinner plate in fright when she saw one scurrying across the kitchen floor the other night. She looked out from the kitchen window. She looked past the garden towards the small paddocks that made up their farmlet. That's where they came from, the vermin. They worked their way out from the crops to the farmhouse. They sought out the warmth and the food. Mother went to the stove and put the kettle on. Father would be in for his breakfast soon. She placed 2 slices of bread into the toaster, then began to fry the bacon and eggs. No sooner had she plated up the breakfast than she heard the back door open. Father, as regular as clockwork, was in for his breakfast. She could tell from the sound of the back door slamming that he was angry. There was some muffled cursing as he removed his Wellingtons. He came into the kitchen and sat down at the kitchen table. "Those bloody vermin have been into the veggies." "Are you sure?" asked Mother as she placed his breakfast in front of him. "Well, of course I'm bloody sure, woman. Do you think I can't recognise vermin signs, girl?" Mother brought the pot of tea over and poured him a cup. "Oh, they've been getting in here too, into my cupboards." "Right, that's it. I'll lay some bait round the crops, and when I finish work after dinner I'll lay some traps in here for you." Mother sipped her tea. "Oh, I hope that will get rid of them." Father chewed on the piece of bacon. "Well, it'll certainly thin out their numbers, my love." That night, after dinner, Mother and Father were sitting in the lounge room. Father was reading the newspaper, whilst Mother was knitting. The silence was broken by the sound of a loud snap, followed by a high-pitched squeal. Father dropped his paper and stood up. Mother put down her knitting and joined him. Father had switched on the kitchen light. The squealing continued. Father's black eyes scanned the room until his eyes came to rest on one of the kitchen benches. In a trap was a tiny person. The tiny white male human had been caught by its ankle, breaking the bones. It was desperately trying to force the metal bar up with its tiny hands. "Aha! Got ya!" Father's whiskers twitched. Mother put her talon up to her front rodent teeth in horror. "Oh, Father, the poor thing's still alive." "Not for bloody much longer, Mother." He went over to the kitchen bench and picked up the trap. The tiny human saw the giant bipedal rat and made some sort of high-pitched scream. It flailed its tiny thin arms about in a pathetic attempt to defend itself. In one swift motion, Father took the human's tiny head in its reptilian talons and snapped its neck. The tiny figure twitched for a few moments and then remained still. "Oh, Father, please get rid of it." Father removed the human from the trap and picked it up by its broken ankle. He walked into the toilet and dropped the tiny body into the bowl. He watched intently as he flushed and watched the small body get pulled under by the water and swept away. He returned to the kitchen where Mother was busily scrubbing the bench where the trap had been situated. "Taken care of, Mother." "Good, filthy little buggers." Father began grooming his fur with his talon.